But in this case, it is still the same person on both stations. You're not going from Taylor Swift to Puff Daddy. You're staying, and you're only listening to John Dawson on all stations at all times. What is up? The following video is actually from a live stream that I did. It was about a 2-hour long live stream where I was just going through, sharing some of the music with you guys. If you're interested in tuning into something like that in the future, because I'm definitely going to be doing more of those, you could hit the subscribe button on this very channel. I guess that bell would also let you know exactly when I go live, so that might be useful in this case, but no pressure. No one likes to hit that fucking bell, so don't do it if you don't want to. You could also follow me on Twitter at YoGerrett, I'll probably throw out a notification there when I do go live, and I also am live on twitch.tv/NowInRotation at the same time. So either place, Twitch, YouTube, you'll be able to find all the music impressions, and send in your music to the constantlyinrotation at gmail.com, and maybe your track will also be featured in a very future live stream. Thank you so much for all the support, and check out this video, which is like an edited down version of the live stream that I did a few weeks back. Thank you. On John Dawson. John Dawson is he's someone I just recently found. The thing about him, it's like taking the whole excitement, the whole ultimate level of creativity that Brockhampton or like those type of collectives bring, and it's all like it just got melted or put into a fucking blender, mixed the fuck up into this wonderful smoothie that is by the name of John Dawson. John Dawson is someone that you cannot be sleeping on at this very moment in time. John Dawson is somebody who, I don't know, man. I think there's something to be said for the genre blending, crazy, not only visual aesthetic that he's bringing forth with his music, but just the ability to kind of just be so unique and sound like a bunch of different things done very well. And that's the thing with, like, nowadays everybody can like say that, like, oh, like emo rap, that definitely has like a feeling of like Blink 182, but in the end, like I feel like a lot of that shit, when you really look at it, and you really like needle in the haystack, besides those few ones that you find that are very fucking good, other than that, you can log on to SoundCloud and probably throw a stone and find someone who just sounds like a watered down version of what they're sounding like. What John Dawson does is he almost like iterates on the things that to my mind come in and just be like, oh, this sounds like X, Y, and Z. John Dawson is like iterating on those things. He's like transgressing those things, and that's the key. That's the secret sauce that you can't really fake. You can't really make that up. You could have 1,565,052 Instagram followers, but does that really correlate into you being a good musician? Half the time it doesn't. Maybe over half. I would throw my stone into the pile of over half. Like if I'm betting the over under, I'm going the over 50% of the most followed rappers in the past 3 years. If you were to bring a group of people together who just maybe aren't even a fan, or I don't think a lot of people would say that they are great musicians, and I don't think they would even want to tote that they're great musicians. But what this guy's doing is fucking wild, and I really think that this deserves a lot more attention than it's getting. With only 1,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube at this moment, 299 on his Topic channel, which is basically just a compilation of all his music. He does have a project that's called Bad Sports. It came out last year, and I just want to say I did not listen to this thing last year, but if I did, it would have been probably somewhere in the conversation in my like favorite albums of the year. There's something so goddamn like interesting, exciting, and just there's a whole lot of question marks, like talking about the music as a whole, because it's so diverse and so like visceral at times. It's one of those things where I feel like you almost just gotta listen to it, and that's exactly what we're gonna fucking do. But point and statement, you can't be sleeping on John Dawson right now. You cannot, and that is a must for everybody. This guy is the man, and I don't know. I don't think he's signed. Maybe he is. Does it? It's licensed by Handwritten Records. So yeah, someone appreciates him, or Handwritten Records is him. I don't know that much. I just want to exclaim that this is some hot shit. This is the song 90's Green Screen by John Dawson. So like already, if you're me, this is like the shit that you like. This is I love hip hop because of how diverse it can be. And while this has a lot of instruments, a lot of strings off the top, kind of a more traditional drum kit, if you will, it still has its roots in that same like tempo for some fucking reason. And I think that's kind of the brilliance of like anybody. I don't know how to describe alternative music other than just like this deep pocket between like smooth jazzy type sounds and fucking traditional rock and roll, and this sweet blend between melodic and also like a lot of heart and emotion. Like the alternative genre, if you actually look at it on these streaming services and you go through album by album, you're gonna find a very eclectic group of music, and the same can be said about hip hop and rap in certain pockets. What this does though, this brings in that traditional pop, easy, smooth to your ears type melodies, but the way that he like portrays it as this like heavy leading up like Eric Clapton type rock and roll solo, it's brilliant, and the way his vocals flow with it. This song's really, really, really impressive on a lot of different levels. But the moment that this shit dropped, for me personally, I was floored. I knew that I had to listen to the rest of this album if there was one, and thank fucking heavens there was. And we're gonna get through a couple of other tracks, but let's check this out. And just like the aesthetic of this circle in the middle, like you don't see people thinking that. Like it's such a simple like thought to just be like, oh, you could just go into After Effects and just throw this in there, but it isn't done. It's being portrayed as original and creative, and I love it, man. I fucking love it, and it really gives you that like fisheye, like old school, like punk, like fly on the wall type video going through the crowd in a way. It's really smart. Like, just like he's not. It's not like you can't. Like you could have shot that in a way. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was nothing about that other than him being the one to do it. And him being the one to actually put that together, like that's the fire, and like that's like the superpower that this guy is bringing to this whole like just music right now, man. Like the minute I found him, I was like, dude, I can't stop listening to your album, and all your videos are very like intuitive, and like, dude, this is recently dropped. This is February of 2020. Let's kind of just see what's up. There's a seizure warning. Flashing images do appear, so if anyone out there does need to worry about that, please take that into account. And this song is actually the first song that I found by him, and it led me down this terrible, wonderfully, I guess, musically inclined, I don't know, this journey, I guess, because the past few days, literally just nonstop John Dawson. Can't stop. It's happening. It's full effect now. It's over. Someone call the ambulance. Bruiseboy. And what's fucked up, because this guy puts the title and then the artist name, my dumbass was looking up artist name Bruiseboy, and I was so disappointed because I loved this song so much, but as like an artist name named Bruiseboy, I just I was like, God damn it, I gotta try to pitch Bruiseboy to people. Like, who the fuck is Bruiseboy? Sounds like that Batman villain that appeared on like the 34th episode of the animated series after they already locked the Joker up for the 16th time, and they're like, fine, Jerry the intern, we'll fucking use your character, Bruiseboy. Like, that's where I was at. But Bruiseboy is the title of a fucking song. Perfectly fine, perfectly justified, especially when you bring the heat like he does on this. But yeah, Bruiseboy is John Dawson. John Dawson, don't fucking sleep.
Saw my dreams and you saw your face.
Like this, honestly though, this is where like the effects and the like the beauty of the shots and the cinematography in this video is enough to catch anybody's fucking eye. And then you have just such a smooth, like you're riding down a fucking like hill, like I don't know, a fucking longboard or some shit. You're just like, there's something so goddamn tasty about all of the production as well as just his obviously wonderful performance on this thing. It just comes together like a fucking, just the two P's and the best of pods, man. John Dawson, man. John fucking Dawson.
And if I be that I'm on the grind, my bones paper less, man, I might jump up out of a plane with my main bitch.
Like, I really think that this type of sound is going to be the next type of thing that people are going to be doing in the mainstream, and they're going to be stealing and looking directly at people like this guy who are in my opinion, kind of just making this very innovative sound and just kind of blending it with the right amount of hip hop, the right amount of pop, the right amount of fucking rock and roll with like a real authentic feel of like instruments in these, like, even if it is all beats and not an actual like recording of live music, it's still coming across as like this very synchronistic, repetitious melody, honestly, like within the music. Like what you're hearing is like a very clear atmosphere. It sounds like 6 people are coming together to create the sounds in the background, and whether they are or whether they're not, I am not sure. But regardless, the level of musical talent as well as just the ability to arrange a song like this, this is my shit, man. This is it right now. And stop sleeping. Like, he's the fucking coolest guy in the world for that sweater alone, but the fact that he's packing so much heat into this song, he is the coolest. I just want, like, he is the coolest guy ever. Fuck. Directed by Zachary Bailey and McHale. Produced by Wishmel, Turbo Radio, Contemporary Noise, and Campbell's. Fuck, that's a fucking song. And it is like, even though it's pretty repetitive in the lyrical sense, there is like a lot of weight to what is being said. Droney like performance, but also like being able to hit those kind of like higher notes as well in certain points. It's some shit. Last song I think I'm going to show off before y'all need to stop sleeping and go enjoy Bad Sports, the album of his, as well as the rest of his discography. Because I'm telling you, every single song does bring something, and every single song does have this level of gravitas. Like, it should be the most viewed song in the world, or just songs, or he should be a lot bigger, and he's going to be a lot bigger, because I promise you, in the next year, we're going to see this sound take over, and I hope to God he's at the forefront of it and not somebody who gets swept under the rug by some label who doesn't know what the fuck to do other than to give these songs to bigger artists to easily market them. Put some effort into it. As my dad would say, put your back into it, Garrett. I feel great, I feel fine. This is the part where I was just like, okay, man, all right, you're the coolest guy in the world with that fucking sweater and jamming out to this fucking funky ass jam. And this song's called Ooga Booga. I don't know if I mentioned that at the top, but like, he's spitting such raw, like he's angry, bro, but he's bringing it across and just giving that message and having it come through and kind of slap you in the face. But then you just have the funkiest, like, little, like, tablespoon of just fucking jams to where you have no choice but to just, like, vibe the fuck out. So I like the mashup style that he does. I really like where he kind of hits you in the face with this kind of very, like, abrupt statements, and then, you know, kind of just like backdoor hands you like just this wonderful, wonderful basket of just the funkiest or just the most melodic and beautiful gut-wrenching hooks. But regardless, like the mashup culture that he's bringing, I really like just the sense of you're listening to a radio station and someone at the passenger seat just switches it, and that's kind of like the amalgamation. But in this case, it is still the same person on both stations. You're not going from Taylor Swift to Puff Daddy. You're staying, and you're only listening to John Dawson on all stations at all times. And let's get back to it.
What you want, what you really, really want was say, turn none to a freak, man. I just wanna
Are you kidding me? It's like, you know, you can't throw around the word outcast, but the way he handles this like whole like breath it's really reminiscent of like Big Boy going in and then Andre just comes in one time and does it, and you always kind of wanted it to go a little longer, but you know, like the play off of them too, and the greatness of Outkast is a whole nother thing. But John Dawson, the way that you are having just this funky ass time on this little section, and your masterful kind of approach to it is where, especially when you're coming off of like that whole kind of Crystal Castles-y like feel of a riff, of like an interlude just in the middle of this like already kind of like, you know, hard track. Like if you just put two verses together and had a nice little like sound in the middle, it would have been a track anyways and people would be loving it. But you take it to this whole nother level of creativity where I'm flabbergasted, man. I really, really, really fuck with what's going on in the John Dawson camp. So again, do not sleep. And then you go into this like Foster the People ass like piano riff, and I'm like, you are doing it all, man. Jesus. So that was Ooga Booga, John Dawson. Other songs we went into is 90's Green Screen, Bruiseboy. If I had to recommend another fourth runner-up, I would throw out 0%. That's another song that I've really enjoyed, but really the entire album of Bad Sports is quite the ride and quite worth your time. 90's Green Screen, the first song came out 6 months ago. Bruiseboy 2 weeks ago. It doesn't really say when Ooga Booga came out, but, you know, this is all stuff that is new. And I can't wrap my head around the fact that it hasn't already been taken over by like the Reddit scene or whatever, because this is some shit. And thank you again to John Dawson and to everybody out there. There's a PSA from the Now in Rotation channel. My name is Garrett at YoGurt. Just trying to let you know, don't sleep on John Dawson. You're doing a disservice to your family, to yourself, and your ears, which are probably a part of yourself if you're like everybody else. Signing off. You take care of yourselves and your ears. And don't sleep on John Dawson.